What's your most significant memory of the Vajra Crown event?
I think the essence, whether it was in Rumtek or in France or North America, I think the answer to the earlier questions why the Karmapa was able to attract every facet of human beings is when you are in that ceremony and he becomes Chenrezig. And if you're meditating the simple Chenrezig, you really experience the oneness with the teacher. But for me, I mean, the most powerful experience was when I first met him. And I think it was very special because not that I know much now, I know hardly anything about the Dharma myself, but at that time I just knew the refuge prayer, and I believe in the Dharma, the Buddhist concept, but knew very little. But as I told you, once I got into Pinsoling, the monks found me and they took me up there, and after a couple of hours I got an audience with him. And when I met him and we made an eye contact, and His Holiness reached out, and when I went to get the blessings, and he touched me, and when he made the eye contact, I felt like I just melted, and there was like really a very sublime experience of light, just something very, very wonderful, where I felt an intense kind of sense of joy and peace. So I think I've later found out that that's one of the symptoms of when you find your teacher, and you are fortunate enough to have that. So many times during the Vajra Crown ceremonies, I've had that, similar experiences. We had a ceremony done in Edinburgh, and I was noticing this older gentleman at the back of the auditorium. I mean, he was just drenched in tears. I mean, it was just spontaneously he was crying. And later I found out that it was Hugh Richardson, the famous political officer. He had traveled extensively in Tibet, and he was based in Sikkim. He had actually seen the same ceremony in Subu way back. It was probably in the mid-50s. So I spoke to him later briefly, and he said he never, in his wildest dreams, ever imagined that same ceremony would take place in his hometown, in Scotland. And he's fluent, he's a so-called Tibet theologist, he's fluent in Tibetan, and he loved the Tibetan culture, and of course he knows all the background. And he says so many things have changed since then, even in this life, but the Vajra Crown ceremony is same.